What's good, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Outcast Podcast. You know it's me, your host, Jake, alongside my pendulous ball having co-host.
It is.
We're back once again. Man, it's lovely to have another episode out. It's a nice day, you know what I'm saying? Today, we have a pretty good list of things to talk about. Yeah? Firstly, Hit Boy's comments and the whole thing happening between him, Metro Boomin, whatever. And then, give me your take on it. And wait, for those of you who don't know, Hit Boy came out recently, I think it was a couple weeks back, and he had basically gone against the whole, and he said, man, all these producers, they're making the same shit. I'm not with them, dog. All they're doing is making some random BS.
Basically, Hitmaker was on interview, and someone had asked him because with the whole Hit Boy, Hitmaker, he was like, who's the best? Who was the better producer? And Hitmaker said, well, I got more radio hits, right? Just playfully saying, he has more songs that are on the radio, which is very true. It's very true. It's factual information, and he didn't say it in a way that made it look like he was better than Hit Boy. He just said, I have more radio hits, but he respects what he does. And then Hit Boy came out with a diss track. It was like a snippet of him sitting in the studio with the diss track playing. He didn't post it. I think some news outlet posted it.
Yeah.
And he made comments on Hitmaker, saying that he didn't know, he barely knew who he was and all that stuff, which is fucking cap. That's cap. And he made comments on Metro Boomin. What was his comments on Metro Boomin?
That I think all he did was produce the same couple of beats.
And then he went for Mustard.
And he really laid in the mustard, saying that he could make that ratchet shit all night. Which, not wrong. Can't lie. Mustard is known for making a particular caliber of beats. He has made some beats that are out there, He's definitely made some beats that are not in his regular wheelhouse. Obviously, Ballin' is one, for example, right? And Baguetti's in the Face. I remember Baguetti's in the Face. I kind of liked it for what it was. With the beat, definitely, the patterns, so that was lovely. But there are a lot of, especially when Mustard gets in and just featuring with artists, there's a lot of beats that are just the same thing.
I'm sure you never even heard Trap House.
Trap House? No.
Yeah, Trap House from 03 and Greedo.
Nah.
Featuring Shoreline Mafia. It's one of my favorite Mustard beats.
Gotta listen to that after this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit of an odd scenario, and he's saying a lot of shit. My take on this, right? I'm not necessarily against him saying that these producers do the same shit. I'm against him, recording this shit in a booth, dog. Like, what really went to his head that he was so high and mighty that he was gonna go record a diss track against all these other dudes in the industry. That's some bitch shit to me, dog. That's some female behavior, bro. You can't be doing that. That's not right. Could have handled it way better. And you see where your emotions will lead you, because he obviously did that out of some kind of emotional feeling, and then it's been leaked. He didn't even leak it himself. But it's been leaked now, and now people know what he was up to. He gotta stop it in that regard. But the conversation around producers doing the same thing for like radio hits and shit like that, and just because they know that the songs will get streamed more, I'm on his side with that shit, dog. Because every producer has like their own signature stylish, right? And sure, they evolve every now and then, but for the majority of mainstream producers, they put out the exact same thing. A lot of them, and I've said it a couple of times, a lot of them are just throwing a different color pattern on a beat. They're just palette swapping it, Like when you hear Metro Boomin's drums, you know it's him. You know it's him, and that's cool and all. But when you hear the drums and you can just think of 3 songs that are just about the same. No amount of melodies will ever change that. No amount of melodies will ever change that. These beats sound the same. It's cool, but no, because I can I can take the example of Raindrops and Overdue, 2 Travis Scott songs from 2 separate Metro Boomin projects that to me sound almost the same. The only difference is that Overdue is a better song in my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't like Raindrops. For me, though, I don't like hearing Travis Scott on like simple production and him sounding monotone.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a certain caliber of Travis Scott vocal range that I want to hear. Speaking from the position as a producer myself, I have pondered on this many times. Because in all honesty, to break away from the slate that hip hop is right now, the little space that hip hop is right now, it's you're breaking away from the money basically.
Yep.
Because the artist, because you see the art, because the thing about it, I remember seeing some rapper. I don't remember. It was a rapper that he wasn't particularly small, but he wasn't big in any sense. Mm-hmm. And he was basically saying that producers are making the same beats, and I was quite upset because I'm thinking I've heard many producers make different beats, nice beats with all kinds of chord progressions, different drum rolls, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And what they do? What the rappers do? They pick the same. You know what I'm saying? Like it pisses me off because we get all the blame, right? But it's the rappers who don't want to do anything different, and it's also because the rappers are scared to do anything different because they know, hey, this works for me.
This works. This makes the money. This gets me in the club. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here performing with this.
So to ask producers to kind of break away from how hip hop is right now is very hard because they're gonna have to lose in the end. They're gonna have to lose. They're gonna have to lose money, possibly lose relationships because they want to make the same shit no more.
Exactly. No, that's the truth. Because we were talking about this earlier, and you were saying what was it, Section 8 and the producers for Lil Baby.
Yeah, Quay, Section 8, Chi.
Yes, these dudes. Like if they just stopped that and started really trying to push the boundaries, Lil Baby might just stop and go find some random kid in his bedroom and make him produce his next album. You know? And sure, Lil Baby, and I know that Lil Baby has been making progress, you know, because we listen to It's Only Me. And he's making progress when it comes to sampling and melodies, dog, but still, the majority of that album was just the same Lil Baby shit that we've heard, right? And that's not a knock against the style, but it is the same shit. It's the truth. Now, that's the thing. Would Lil Baby really just stop working with these guys, or would he just?
I don't particularly think so, but I think it would be a weird situation because Section 8, Chi, and Quay are all signed to Lil Baby, so he expects them to push out a certain product.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing.
Exactly. So that's where the money comes from. So for them, they just can't, decide. Oh, we're gonna switch it up.
I think it's a situation where they do give him different beats, and he does rap on those beats, but he just don't make it to the album.
Yeah, the songs that get put out are. Yeah.
So I still kind of blame.
Because I want to blame rappers. My stake in this, guys, was that I do want to blame rappers, but I also need to blame producers. They, despite the fact they do need the money, and despite the fact that the rappers are the ones choosing the beats and putting them out, I can't lie about that. If producers were to sit and fully decide, we're going to change this, right? So then the rappers wouldn't exactly have a room to disagree. They wouldn't exactly have a room to disagree. And look, I get it. Like for every mainstream producer out there, there's another kid in his bedroom willing to make again the regular trap percussion. Exactly. With a little bit of pianos in the background type shit. but still, as larger mainstream producers, right? If a group of you got together and decided that we're going to try and push the craft forward, then the craft would definitely be pushed forward. It would be a slow grind. It would be a bit of a slow grind, and it wouldn't be easy at first, but it would catch on. Because there was a time in hip hop when rappers refused to go on any beats that had a sample on them, you know? When rappers refused to go on any beats that had a sample on. There was a time in hip hop when rappers refused and didn't like beats that didn't have that lunch table drum behind it. You know, that do that shit. You know, rappers refused that shit. There was a time when rappers didn't want to use trap drums. They didn't want to use regular percussions. These dudes were more used to bass drums or whatever. Right? And it took people like Kanye West, sure, to sit down and decide, look, this is the shit that the hip hop is rocking with now, but I have to push the industry forward. And I believe part of the reason, yeah, it is about the money. Part of the reason why they're all stuck in this little realm is because they are not as hungry as the producers of before. Mainstream producers nowadays are not as hungry as mainstream producers in the 90s. And the reason for that is because mainstream producers in the 90s did not get the money mainstream producers now get. So for them, it was more of a question of, if I want to get paid and if I want to get used and then and broken into like a label and shit, and these dudes get me in the industry, I have to differentiate myself from the other guy and still somehow make it capable for mainstream producers to rock with, for mainstream rappers to rock with me, which was hard, right? So they had to really push the craft and really sit down and make themselves all recognizable, which is where we got quote unquote super producers from, like Kanye West and Timbaland and Pharrell. This is where we got these dudes from, because all of them, they had to push the envelope, because if they stuck to the same thing, then anybody could just go to the next guy, no matter what connections you had with a certain person. Right? So these dudes had to do this if they wanted to make money. They wanted to make real money. But now, any dude realistically can have a moment and he can sit and work under another producer who's more of a mainstream dude and just pump out the type of beats and melodies and whatever that they're needed, and bada bing bada boom, you know, they get paid a good decent amount of money to go live a pretty high lifestyle, drive around the Lambo truck. You know what I'm saying? I think it was when we were talking about A.O. Sim. You remember it? Yeah. You made me watch that video with A.O. Sim, and he was talking about how he worked with ATL Jacob. When we watched that video, something that popped into my mind was A.O. Sim's living a pretty good life, and all he realistically has to do is make similar sounding beats ish. Add in a cool melody, because, you know, cool melodies are sort of his thing. And boom, get them to Jacob. Jacob does his thing, and he'll work it out, and maybe they'll get a chance with a producer or with a rapper. Yeah,
even like A.O. Sim, like I like it. The reason why I like A.O. Sim and why everybody likes A.O. Sim is because his melody choices, song selection is way different than most hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
It's not simplistic. He does complicated shit. Even if it's simplistic, it's still simplistic in a complicated way.
Mm.
And even with his drums, I'm sure you never really studied, you never really heard any of his beats with his drums, but he has drums that are different. His bounces and all this stuff are very different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he's built up such a strong fan base in the producer community to be able to sell stuff like drum kits and sample packs and all that stuff. And everybody loves his shit.
Everybody rocks with him. What was I saying? Yes, Sim is different, but I wasn't just talking about Sim. Like, I was saying that it's not just Sim, but it's dudes in the position like Sim. Think about the amount of dudes who are just under a producer, you know? And a lot of them are just producing the same thing. The bigger producer works with it a little bit, gets it off to a rapper, and maybe they'll get a song with them, get it on the album. It is what it is. This kind of perpetuates an issue, because these guys can live fine doing the bare minimum, right? The bare minimum that's actually required of them. Why in the world would they push the envelope? Why would they evolve? unless it was for actual artistic intent. But how many dudes have artistic intent nowadays? A lot of dudes it's just a check, and that's the problem. That's what I believe the problem is. Producers nowadays, it's easier for them to drive a Lambo truck, buy a bust down chain, stack up some bands, get a few publishing, and maybe get themselves a nice house in Cali, pay some taxes on that, instead of pushing the envelope and possibly having to not be as comfortable as they would like to be for a while.
I do agree with that at least. But even as like a small producer, dog, like as I am, looking at stuff, having to push out, having to look on what's hot, make those beats, make the same beats, push them on every single day, push them, hope they get sold. It's just tiring. That's why I given up on that shit, dog. I don't need money anymore for music, dog. Because I've realized that I love music enough to just do it for the sake of making good music.
So it all just gets a bit oddly compromised by then. So I believe that's my least belief on the whole thing with Hit Boy and the rest of them. I don't like the fact he came with the whole diss track thing, whatever, but still. And on that topic of pushing the envelope, though, despite let's disregard Kanye and Travis, who's really pushing the envelope, who's really been revolutionizing within the past 10 years, because hip hop's been moving a bit. It's been moving faster in terms of trends, but it's moving slower in terms of actually revolutionizing hip hop. So, tell me, who's actually been pushing the envelope? At least in your opinion.
In my opinion, who's been pushing the envelope the most? To be honest, from what I've seen, the people who are pushing the envelope the most are underground rappers. I've seen more, and it's not just because of their style per se. It's more of the experimentation that I've seen artists willing to do in that stage. Like Sofega, for instance. We just the other day, me and Jake listened to Pink Hearts, and he said it was good. And I said I wanted to listen to it, so he made me listen to the whole album. And I really liked it. I really like the direction that Sofega was going to. Bruh. I like this. I like the direction that Sofega was going in. I like the different instrumentation, the instrumentals that he used, the way that he used his voice. You know what I'm saying? It actually makes me think that Travis Scott actually had something to do with that project.
They didn't just throw Chase B at it.
Yeah. If only it could have
stayed on Cactus Jack.
And if only it was actually promoted properly.
Yeah, if the album was marketed. Because I don't believe it was marketed as great as it could have been. If it was marketed properly, man, Sofega would have sold much more.
Should have been with Quiven.
But yeah, you're right. And artists in the underground are the ones pushing the envelope even more. I mean, when we talk about artists like Lancey Foe,
yes.
When we've listened to Lancey Foe's recent project.
We listened to some of it. That amazing intro.
Oh yes, man.
Spirit of Ecstasy.
And then the track right after that did it again. Ruined us mentally. Because hold on, that was a transcendent intro. And then I did it again.
Yeah.
Ooh, and then Jastar. I don't know who Jastar is, dog. Look, man. Look. If you got paid for that verse, dog, you did Lancey bad, bro.
Jeez.
No. For real. If you did that as like a homie thing, dog, that's cool. But you got paid for that. You did Lancey bad, and I believe what your friends around you should have told you was, dog, this is going on this guy's album. Please, just rap. Don't do anything crazy right now, please. Your friends should have tried to control you. Because, dog, and if you guys don't believe us, dog, go look at the song, but just be prepared. Because you're going to wonder what the hell is going on.
Just listen to the first two tracks. The album is named Life in Hell.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm a person who likes ignorant music, right? I like ignorant dark music that doesn't make any sense. But everything, the lyrics, the hook, the mixing, the beat, the feature, I just don't like anything about that track whatsoever. It's probably the worst second track of an album I've ever listened to in my entire life. The best intro I've ever listened to in my entire life, and the worst second track.
Oh gosh. Yeah, but he's Lancey Foe, even without that, the rest of the project that we did listen to was definitely pushing the envelope, dog. And with the way people have such a respect for him and a love for him in the underground of music, of hip hop, you know, it showed in the way that he's featured on other people's tracks. I'm not particularly a fan of Super Trap, but apparently he's done Super Trap pretty well in the tracks that he's been in.
Oh yes, speaking of someone who you haven't listened to, one of my favorite producers, one of my favorite rappers in the underground that I've recently discovered is I discovered that he was a rapper. I knew that he was always a producer, but I realized that he rapped. His name is Redda. Yes, he does Super Trap, and I really like it. I really like the music that he puts out. Some of it is very simplistic. It's very simplest. His lyrics are very simplistic. You know, pop pills from bitches. 10,000, 40,000 on 80,000 in my jeans. 80,000 in my jeans. I love that. I love that bar, bruh. But yeah, I'm sure you've listened to a song that he's produced before.
What song?
Chippy Chippy.
Really?
Yes, he's produced Chippy
He
Chippy.
produced Chippy Chippy.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I watched the interview. I didn't watch the full interview, but I saw that he was doing an interview with Our Generation, and I saw that he produced Chippy Chippy. I was like, what? He produced that?
We love Chippy Chippy.
Yeah.
Shaq West, stop playing basketball. Travis Scott, please.
Get him in the studio.
Please.
Mud Boy 2, man.
Please, even if it ain't Mud Boy 2, do something. Look, dog. Shaq, you can't just blow up, show up, drop the masterpiece that is Mud Boy, and then run away. That's not how things work.
But yeah. And we can't forget the king of the underground as of late. Yeet.
That is true. That is true. Yeet. We've listened to Afterlife.
Yep.
We've listened to Afterlife. Now look, Yeet's music has never really been my thing. It's never really been my thing. I need people to understand it's never really been my thing. I've never really liked Yeet's music. However, I like what he's done on Afterlife. I believe Yeet has come to the conclusion that despite the fact that he's done some revolutionary shit, he understands how short the attention span of hip-hop really is, and that this trend of cool shit is probably going to end soon. So he's trying his hardest to build up a catalog that people have some kind of attachment to, that they will continue to listen, and with that attachment will still bring him a stable fan base of sorts. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeet, I respect what you're doing. I love a couple tracks. Oh God, man, I got 4 houses. I don't know which one I'm at. Yeet does cool shit. So yeah, shout outs to Afterlife. The intro, I really love the intro. I love the way the beat's kind of sporadic and shit. Kind of makes me feel like I'm glitching all over the place. So
Exactly, I loved it.
yeah, so Yeet does amazing shit. I believe he's pushing the envelope in certain areas. I believe he's doing it better than dudes like Sofago or Ken Carson or Destroy Lonely. Well, not Destroy Lonely, because Destroy Lonely's been changing a little bit. Not production wise, but lyrically, sonically. Yeah, he's been changing sonically.
You criticizing Sofago? My nigga cuss off, boss.
Look, no, it's not that, bro. Because I rock with Sofago. Again, Pink Heart's a great project, but when I sit around and I properly look at it, right? When I properly look at it, Yeet's doing a lot more innovation than these dudes, and I believe he realizes a lot more than these dudes that this is going to fall out of love eventually. You know, this is going to fall out of love eventually. Which actually brings me to my perspective of who's really changed hip hop, Playboi Carti. a lot of people can claim a lot of shit, but Cardi has influenced hip hop right now. It's not. That's not something that's up for debate. It's not something you need to think about. It's true. He's influenced hip hop right now. There's nothing else to talk about. He has. Dudes wanna have like a whole 8-hour long discussion about, did he really? No, he has. Since self-titled. Since he dropped Playboy Cardi, it's actually been insane. And that tape alone was able to allow him to coast until he dropped Die Lit. And in my opinion, Die Lit is the best, or at the very least, top 1, top 2, top 3 best projects that ever dropped in 2018. And that's a crazy thing to say, considering the projects that dropped in 2018.
Like Astroworld.
Dark Knight, Life's a Trip. Astroworld. Projects dropped in 2018. Right? But the reason I like to put Die Lit up there isn't because I particularly like the kind of music, but because it is clearly innovative. It is perfect. It is Playboy Cardi's best attempt at properly fusing rap and punk music. Because Whole Lotta Red isn't that proper fusion. It's bringing punk music to hip hop fans. That's what he's done with Whole Lotta Red. He's rapping over punk and rage beats a little bit, but that's what he's done with Die Lit. Everything was more integrated. There was much more of a mixture going on. You know, it wasn't just heavily on one side or the other, and it mixed so perfectly that it resulted in production that has inspired so many more tracks to this day. And it resulted in tracks that are still well sonically pleasing right now. Like if you put on Shooter with him and Uzi, a whole room of people goes crazy, just from the production alone. And when you listen to that beat, it's more than inspired a lot of production that's happening right now. So I don't particularly like Playboy Cardi. I don't really rock with him like that. But for me to sit around and pretend like, you know, like what he's pushed isn't influential would be wrong with me.
Not at all.
It would be wrong with me. In such a thing though, someone else another artist that I don't particularly like, but I can't sit around and pretend like they haven't done the greatest thing. Youngboy.
Wow.
I don't like Youngboy. I don't like NBA Youngboy, but if he died today, I might be one of the first people to tweet R.I.P. a legend. And I'm the guy that's saying that y'all gotta stop throwing around legend so much. Because not everybody that dies is a legend, but NBA Youngboy, he's only 22?
Yeah, I think so.
22? With all the things that he has under his belt, all the accolades he has, releasing several albums a year, each one hitting Billboard, each one getting thousands, tens of thousands of sales first week, and continuous sales weeks afterwards. Being able to just about drop on anybody's project, becoming the king of YouTube views. What else am I supposed to say about that, dog? Youngboy's done a lot. He's
amassing a cult-like fan base.
More than cult-like, dog. It's an actual cult. It's a cult at this point. He amassed a cult.
We've seen all them Youngboy better comments, dog.
Yes. Not even just the Youngboy better comments, dog. I've seen Youngboy people. You know how many kids I'm seeing walking around looking like Kentrell, dog? Too many of them. Right? The amount of rappers that come up using his style of rap, dog.
Speaking of Youngboy, what do you think of the thing that he did, the video with the whole "Stop the Violence" thing?
Him?
Yeah.
He did a video saying "Stop the Violence."
Yeah, he did a video saying, "Hey, look at me, you know, stop the violence." I was like, dog, you really talking about this?
Okay, look.
You're not that. You're not that guy, pal.
He's not the best guy to say that. You're gonna have to show me that video, dog. Look, he's not the best guy to say that, but I do believe YoungBoy at 22 years old is actually thinking a bit deeper now. I believe he is. And what I want and what I think about that, I think I believe he's thinking a bit deeper now because he's realizing I have a whole heap of kids, dog. Because he is a parent to a lot of children. He's realized that he has a whole heap of kids and one of them may fall victim to the violence one day. But above all that, I believe he's also realized that maybe the violence that he grew up in and he knows is a part of his culture isn't a good thing. Even if he has been one to perpetrate that violence in the past. Because NBA YoungBoy does a lot of dumb shit. He does a lot of dumb shit. But I haven't seen him, at least for the past year and a half-ish, be the same guy he was 2018, 2019. You know?
I do agree.
Because, what was it, 2017, 2018, he was hopping out the whip with his Gucci shoes on, Dior jacket, spraying the block, Mason Margielas. I don't know what he had on his feet, but they said he had on some really fancy shoes. Hopping out the car, spraying up the place, and then hopping back in the car and driving away. Right? He was doing that shit. Right? And I believe it all sort of culminated after that father of two, father of three husband. He got shot at a McDonald's after they were trying to shoot a young boy. I believe it's sort of just after that moment, it became a bit more real to him. He started to realize, look, man, I'm an actual danger wherever I am. I gotta sort things out. I believe that's what he's noticed, and he's trying to get young people to stop the violence in that sort of way. So I like the fact that he came out to say that. He's not the best dude to be, you know, but give him a few years. Give him a few years. He may be a better dude to put it on than anyone else. Give him a few years.
Yeah.
Give him till he's 30. I'll give him till he's 30.
To me, I don't know if that was actually like a video of him actually saying stop the violence, or if he was just trolling, dog.
If he was trolling, then well, I take back everything I said. But if he wasn't trolling and he fully meant it, hey.
After watching all those videos, like people breaking down YoungBoy lyrics, he disses a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Yeah.
He disses everybody in his lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Well, let's just hope that all this do you think that gangster rap is dying, bro?
No. What? No.
Oh, because people make this argument that all the people are getting locked up, so gangster rap is dying. Dog, it's just
niggas is getting locked up because they stupid. Listen, that doesn't mean gangster rap is dying. If they put Lil Baby, if they put Lil Baby, Moneybagg Yo, who else? They put the Baby, all these niggas in jail. They put all of them in jail tomorrow. They will still be gangster rappers.
Yeah, there's always a new generation. It's just like teeth. It becomes to the point where it's just like teeth, dog. A new
set it's gonna grow in. A new set's gonna grow in. Whether or not you believe in such a thing. Consistently. Freaking when it comes to what was I saying? When it comes to gangster rap, yeah, it's always gonna be gangster rap's not dying. I think the only time gangster rap and things like that were dying in hip hop was It'll Never Die Now. Yeah, we're back.
It's like shark teeth, dog.
This is another row.
Maybe gangster rap could have died back in the 1980s or something, dog. But ever since like the 2010s, nope.
No. Gangster rap was actually almost dead.
When?
2011.
Really?
2010 and going into the 2010s, almost every single outlet for hip hop was talking about how the fact that gangster rap was looking like it was going to die soon and be replaced by more mainstream pop hip hop. You know, because dudes like Ye and Big Sean were taking over, right? Mm-hmm. But then one dude, very infamous as we know, sparked the revolution of gangster shit. 2010, 2011.
2010, 2000. I don't know, because I didn't really listen to rap back
then. It's Chief Keef, bro. I don't like. Right after I Don't Like dropped, everything changed.
Damn.
Yes. Yes.
Double XL in jail though.
Yes, he was in jail, and
he's the first and only person to make Double XL in jail.
In jail. He was so big at the time that they couldn't leave him off. They had to Photoshop his face onto the list.
Too bad we didn't get the freestyle or the cipher.
That's actually kind of sad, yeah. But yes, in 2011, almost every gangster rapper was falling out of love, and then Chief Keef dropped I Don't Like. I need people to understand. that hip-hop really thought that gangster rap was going to die until Chief Keef brought drill music in. And then, right after that, everything went sideways. Chief Keef blew up, and rappers started coming out left and right doing drill shit. And it's even persisted to a point where even now in the middle of the modern day, rappers who can make pop songs and radio anthems are also versatile in drill rapping. The late Juice WRLD is a great example of this. Juice
WRLD was versatile in everything, dog.
True.
I think he is one of the most talented rappers to ever exist.
Talented in rapping.
Yeah.
Talented in rapping and freestyling.
Make a whole album in a week. Wasn't that Death
Race to Love, yeah.
R.I.P. Juice WRLD, man.
But yeah, it's persistent. It's also why I somewhat blame Chief Keef for a lot of things, dog. The current violence in hip hop, as much as it is people's choice, dog. If Chief Keef hadn't blown up and he'd gone to work in a motor factory or some shit, there's a good chance that gangster rap really would have been gone, and some of the shit that we're seeing right now would not be prevalent. No.
If Chief Keef never blew up, dog, you'd have been dead. In my honest opinion, you would have been dead.
Probably. No, but if he didn't blow up, dudes like Lil Durk, King Von, might have never hit their stride.
They'd have probably dead too.
See? What kind of statement is that? It's kind of heartless, dog. But it's true.
No, but in Chicago, dog, it's just the violence is ridiculous.
Exactly. Man. So that's what I'm saying. All these rappers who can perpetuate this cycle of violence, perpetuate all this gangster shit, they owe a lot of it to Chief Keef, and all the violence that is also happening. A lot of it is sort of a butterfly effect of Chief Keef blowing up, dog.
I mean, look at it from a heartless perspective, dog. The best thing would have been for them not to blow up, because then if they didn't blow up, then they would have probably died, and there would still be violence, but there wouldn't be violence that would be spread so mainstream to affect the youth so horribly.
True. But Chief Keef blew up. We got I Don't Like. I got Hate Being Sober. So one of my favorite tracks of all time. Never really gonna question that. Yep, got all those. I'm absolutely happy with everything that happened. Hate Being Sober is, I think, one of my top 10 tracks ever. I'm sad that the music video just never got to be produced the way I wanted it. You know the story about the Hate Being Sober music video?
No, I don't.
So, wait, have you ever heard the song? I hate being sober. You've heard the song. But the reason the music video sort of fell off, when Chief Keef first blew up, 50 Cent lobbied for him because he was like, bro, this guy's the next He's the next me in gangster rap, something, right? And he's doing cool shit. 50 Cent loved Chief Keef. Like everybody loved Chief Keef, right? And he gave him the feature on the song Hate Being Sober. Wiz Khalifa hopped on it too. Shout out to Wiz, you already know. So that's partly why I love the track. Wiz is there, 50's there, early Chief Keef. Come on, that's me, kid in the candy store, bro. So all three of them were there. So the music video was set up. They were in the desert. They got the cars and the go-karts and shit. 50 Cent arrives. Wiz Khalifa shows up. Chief Keef never shows up to his own video shoot.
He never shows up.
He didn't show up to his own music video shoot.
Why?
So, yeah, and 50 Cent they were calling him, dog. They were calling him like, yo, what the hell, bro? You got us with a bunch of women in the desert, bro. The camera crew's here and shit. They're recording off takes of us. Where are you? Chief ain't there. So Chief Keef's manager and Chief Keef sort of put an explanation to this in place when they kind of came out and they said, man, at the time Chief Keef was still just a kid in his bedroom, kind of. He was still just a kid. You know, he wasn't used to the whole touring and dates and catching this. He wasn't used to the scheduling thing. So when the time came to actually do the music video in time for the album, in reality, Chief Keef woke up and they just completely missed the flight. The whole crew just woke up late and they missed the flight.
Bruh.
That's really sad because I want that music video so bad to have ever been a thing. I really want that music video to have ever been a thing, dog. If I could go back in time and change some shit, that's one of the things I would have done. I would have walked in their room and kicked everybody. Like, get the fuck out! You got shit to do. And they pointed guns at me and yo, who are you? Bro, I'm your new tour manager, bro. The label just hired me, dog. Wake up! You got a flight in a couple minutes. And then I walk out the door and they never see me again. So I'd be a funny story.
You think they even hired a tour manager?
No, that's what they're trying to explain. It was just them. It was a room full of dudes, a bunch of mics and equipment, portable laptops, and Chief Keef. That's all it was. It was just him and his friends and the manager. And the manager himself wasn't even fully professional-ish. So, yeah, they had no clue.
Hold on.
I feel bad about the fact that the freaking music video never fully came out.
Well, at least we know that Chief Keef is doing very good right now.
Man, he's big. He's big balling, dog.
Big balling, big chilling. Glow merch is amazing.
It's going off. I wouldn't really ever rock Glory Boy merch, but I understand the significance behind it. You know, dudes who are able to glow up and go past their circumstances in life. So I rock with it. Heavy. And when it comes to Chief Keef, bro, I believe he's done more than enough to live a comfortable life. And even he understands this. I feel bad by the fact that the streets have done him so badly in Chicago, though. Saying that he can't come back. That's horrible.
It is, but the streets are a weird thing, in my opinion. What was their reasoning for him now coming back?
Because he left Chicago. He moved out. And I believe Chief Keef himself responded to this when somebody asked him in an interview, and he said, "Bro, you told me about this. I think you showed me the video. The dude, he said, bro, nobody in Chicago makes my kind of money to stay in Chicago. You leave after you get my kind of money."
I'm sure it's like people thinking, oh, he's abandoning shit. Well, what can you do? You're gonna put yourself in a dangerous place. Cause he, dog.
Well, yeah, what's he supposed to do exactly? Put $1 million house in the hood? He'll get robbed.
He'll form an army of niggas to go and freaking raid that place.
Yes. Dudes robbed their kingpin drug dealer that they know he's got guns in his house. What do you mean? Niggas are always trying to snake somebody. So what exactly was Chief Keef supposed to do? And now they say he can never come back to the streets. And people say, oh, well, that works with people like Lil Durk. He's the voice of the streets. No, Lil Durk lives in fucking Beverly Hills, guys. He does not live in Chicago. Lil Durk lives in the richest parts of the country. Sure, he's always on the block, but that doesn't mean shit. He just gives out money and handshakes people. He doesn't live there anymore. You think he lives there? He doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
he's done a good job of lying to people and making them believe he's still in the streets, though.
Shit, if it was me, dog, me wouldn't come back here. I wouldn't care if anybody say I can't come back.
Oh, your asshole just said, I can. Oh, yeah, I live a walk like a me. That shit would get you shot.
Yeah, and that's some shit that I know Antiguans would do, dog. Whenever anybody moves to America, dog, always
you're big and you got foreign.
Exactly, dog. I hate it. I hate it so much.
It's some bullshit, dog. Like what you want from a nigga, dog?
It ain't even all that good.
It ain't. But yo, what you want from a nigga, dog? Tell me.
A handout. That's what they want. A handout.
Okay, what you want from a nigga that's reasonable? Cause you can't just get a handout from everybody. I've always hated that mentality as well. Dudes know you're overseas, and the first thing they do is ask for shit, dog. You know, dudes are consistently asking for shit from their overseas friends and family members. When was the last time you sent them something?
Send them what? Them they ain't foreign.
Exactly, right? That's the mentality, dog. When was the last time you decided, look, boss? Yeah, I'm gonna give you some aid, cause life can't be easy up there. I'm gonna send you something. That's a horrible mentality. And then dudes get mad at dudes. I saw a Jamaican guy go off on people about that once, and he was yelling at people, saying he's tired and he's done giving shit to people in Jamaica, dog. And people were cursing at him, but he said, "Boss, what happened to me? Me there firing the first thing I can ask for money. First thing I can ask for me for send down this and for send down that. And for put this in the bar and put this in the bar. What happened to me? I ain't never say, how you pay your electric bill? I'll work. Man in the cold of work. And I ain't never offer my nothing. What me, the sacrifice? You sacrifice me to the American devil. And now you'll get the benefits."
It must be so.
Because what the hell, dog? And it's very, very true. I even experienced that a little when I went away, bro. Very few people knew I actually left the country. But out of the very few people that knew, a couple of people knew, and no one said, take this, or take this. Because don't get me wrong, there were some people that said, bro, take this extra $100 US, spend it, do whatever you're doing, There were people like that. But then there were dudes who were like, bring me back this. Oh, I want you to get this. And sending me pictures of shit. Like I got money coming out my asshole to buy it.
I mean, you go far and you have bread.
I ain't even deal with you.
It's just irritating to me.
It is, dog. I don't wrong Chief Keef, dog. I feel bad that he may never go back to his own hood without having to worry about being shot by somebody. But I don't wrong Chief Keef at all for staying away and deciding that he needs to move out. Moving out is the correct decision. It's the honorable decision in a lot of cases. People talk about how they want to do this and do that. Man, I believe a lot of people don't recognize that staying where you stay, it's very little chance that you'll ever be safe. This is something that I've actually been thinking about consistently, right? Let's say me and you, right? Let's say me and you, our friend group, whatever. Our friend group, right? 16 of us and all the people we bring with us, right? We all put in the work and we all become certified-esque millionaires, right? Every single one of us got $1.3 million. We all got money. And we got income streams coming in, right? Mm-hmm. How many of us do you think are going to live in Antigua?
I think all of us.
How many of us are going to live in Antigua without worry?
None of us.
That's the problem.
No. Actually, no. All of us will live without worry. depending on the economic state of Antigua. Because Antigua is not a place that
will the state get better? It ain't getting better now, bro.
You think it's gonna get way worse?
Listen, I don't believe way worse is the thing. The reason this has been hitting my mind is because whenever I thought about great leaders and great people who've made a lot of money or some shit, I've always understood that it's their own people that do them dirty. It's their own people. Chief Keef is a good example of this because it's his own people trying to tell him no, come back to Chicago. It ain't some Detroit goons telling him, oh, you go back to Chicago, we're gonna slide on you, we know where you live. No, it's his own people. Usain Bolt the other day, he got robbed for $2 billion Jamaican dollars. They've been stealing money from him for 10 years, dog. 12 million US dollars stolen. It's his own people that stole this from. You'd think if you were a Jamaican financial firm that you wouldn't rob Usain Bolt. But they've been jacking him, dog. Malcolm X was killed by his own people. Martin Luther King was killed by his own people, and whether or not those people were sent by the CIA or whatever, that is whatever it is, right? But it was his own people that killed him. And for me, the reason I've been thinking about it is because I fully love this place. I love Antigua, bruv. This is my home. I rock with this place heavy. So I know that if I wind up actually at a point of wealth, and not just regular wealth, well-known wealth, to the point where people know I got money. You know? People know he's a millionaire. Well, they tell their kids, look at money, man. You know? I realized that I'm going to either have to start walking around with a full bulletproof vest on all the time, with a gun holster under my coat and shit. In fact, I might have to make a Kevlar trench coat. Sew the Kevlar in there, and freaking get it designed personally by a freaking designer or some shit. Because in reality, what I'm scared of the most is my own people killing me. People think it's a normal thing, but it's not. Your own people will kill you. Especially if you try to show love. Nipsey Hussle, he got touched in his own neighborhood, dog. In his own store. A dude walked in and shot him. That's the shit that I have to think about. Even if Antigua's a relatively safe place, your own people will do you bad. Especially when they see you up. And I have a fear about that because it'll break my heart. And I want people to understand this. I want you to understand this too. Bro, if I do end up dead after acclaiming a certain amount of success, and some dude, I don't know who, he tries to rob me and he shoots me and he kills me, understand, I want you to go to the coroner's office and tell them he died of a broken heart. Because that's what I died of a broken heart, dog. If I got hit by a bus or I've been shot in the head and I didn't have time to process my death, fine. But if I got shot 4 times in the chest and I'm laying there bleeding out on the floor, I died of a broken heart. I'd make them write it on my death certificate. Died by broken heart, aided by gunfire. Because that's what happened. My heart broke and I gave up. Because it will break my heart and make me cry there, sitting there in my own pool of blood, to know that my own people from this small island killed me. That'll tear me apart. It's your own people. I know that's not something you want to accept, and as long as it's not something that you want to acknowledge, because it's a grim fate. I know you know this. It's a grim fate, but it's true. Your own people will do you bad. Even Master P talks about it, bro. When he went to interview, he said, man, he's only ever been jacked by his family, dog. Random people who he was nice to have done him much better than his own family. His own family stolen money from him. His own family set him up. And he's had to go on to forgive them.
I understand. It is something that I have thought about, dog.
Yes. Antigua's a relatively safe place. Don't ever get it twisted. Antigua's a relatively safe place. Even with the 2 drilly and all the kids running around with weapons and whatever, Antigua's a relatively safe place. However, the trend that seems to be getting set right now is not. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better. It doesn't look like it's getting any better, unless the 2 drilly task force really puts in the effort. And and looking at how things get really grim during down the line in the future, it really gets me sad.
Man, you can honestly only hope, dog.
Yes, you can. You can honestly only hope. I beg of you, if I die in a scenario like that, go to the mortician, explain. Please write on my death certificate, death by broken heart, aided by gunfire, aided by knife. It doesn't matter. But I died of a broken heart. As my heart broke as I fell to the ground about to die, knowing that my own people killed me.
It's one of those Outcast episodes.
So,
You know, the ones that we start out pretty okay and then
and
they
then,
get grim.
they
Get grim at the end. So now we have to think of some other topic. We gotta think of some other topic. So
Oh gosh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. This is actually fun and lighthearted in the beginning. Now it's I made it so grim. We gotta talk about something else. We can't end it like this. Yo, we can't end it like this, dog.
I've been wanting to talk about games more, but there's nothing going on in the gaming industry. Me and our friend said we're just talking about AAA titles, like how sucky they are. Why is it so hard to make a good game nowadays, dog? It's so hard.
I believe it's the same thing as before when we were talking about rappers and producers. It's money.
Redistribution of the same game, just with a couple new features.
Yep.
Microtransactions.
They're coming
I
out.
think microtransaction has been the biggest downfall of games so far.
Oh yeah, DLC and shit. Because
No.
they're releasing new Ninja Storm DLC.
No Ninja Storm DLC.
Yes, for Ninja Storm 4.
I mean, what's wrong with that? Ninja Storm, no, don't use Ninja Storm 4. The DLC is alright. I like DLCs in the past for games when I was like younger, because they were DLCs that actually made sense.
No.
Nowadays it's like DLCs with most of the content to
Yes.
actually make the game interesting.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Look, man, I don't have a problem with the DLC for Ninja Storm 4. I'm saying they should make Ninja Storm 5.
I mean,
I want Ninja Storm 5. I want Ninja Storm 5.
Boruto is kind of iffy with the
Nigga, I bet you if they made Boruto into a good Ninja Storm game, gave it great mechanics, excellent dude, the Naruto fan base would eat it up.
Maybe. Although most of the Naruto fan base aren't really rocking with Boruto, from what I've seen.
Oh no, they're not, but it'll work out. It'll work out.
Have you seen any of Boruto?
The anime?
Yeah.
I watched 100 and something episodes of it.
I
like Boruto. people hate on me for this, but I like Boruto.
Why?
Boruto is better storytelling than Naruto will ever have.
For real?
Yes. Listen, no, and before you all get mad and clip me, listen to me very carefully. Boruto has greater character building. It has greater story setup. It has greater micro villains and larger villains. It has such an amazing amount of suspense to it. Even the manga is going pretty good with the suspense. I don't like the way it's translated to the anime sometimes, and transferred to the anime, because sometimes the suspense and the action and the strength in scenes is really lost. And I like the way they've power scaled it, because now what you see with Boruto, they're doing more taijutsu than ever before. It's a lot more hand-to-hand combat than before, but that's because we've now, since Naruto Shippuden, we made it into the realm of the gods. So now we gotta scale it back down. So even characters like Naruto and Sasuke are using more hand-to-hand combat than just pulling out random ninjutsu, which I kind of like. It's much more realistic for a world full of ninja. It's not just, oh, I got the big jutsu now.
I mean, from what I've seen, I've only watched what's it called again? I've only watched the movie for Boruto.
Huh.
Yeah, but from what I've seen from like the clips and shit, I do like the Otsutsuki's. Yeah, I mean, it feels weird. It does feel weird for a bunch of ninja people to be fighting a bunch of alien gods who want to harvest chakra, who want to harvest all the energy. It's a weird thing, but I do feel like the fights from those are pretty cool.
I like the way it's scaling. The character building in Boruto is actually spectacular. If you've watched any of the Boruto episodes, like anything before or around the time of the tuning exams, y'all know what I'm talking about. Because the Boruto episodes, they scale every character so amazingly. Even the first time Mitsuki used Sage Mode. People like it for, oh, he used Sage Mode. No, it's not just because he used Sage Mode, dog. It's because it was a part of his character building. As we had learned just about Jack All about Mitsuki until then. He didn't just throw it in there. It had been built up to. The same thing with the purple-haired girl who was doing the... Oh.
That was going to be Yako.
We thought it was Yako. We thought Yako was going to flip us off again.
But yeah.
Even the thing with that purple-haired girl with the ninjas with the big seal on her back, and she was releasing that negative chakra demon or whatever. It was built up through for episodes. All of the kids, all of them, Inojin, Shikadai, they all had their own personal journeys to go through. Not like in Naruto Shippuden, where you get to the final war and they're all using freaking techniques that we've never heard of, and we've never seen these people train. We know nothing about them. Where did Shino get that micro-beating freaking parasite thing that ate that freaking thing out from the inside? Where? How much chakra does that use? Is that a powerful technique? We don't know! It's even become an inside joke in the series amongst Kishimoto himself that Shino is a forgotten character.
And Shino was my first favorite character.
Yes! I loved Shino so much. And then he fell apart. Same thing with Tenten. No character development. Stop it. We all know, but we've had this talk before.
Neji. That's all I'm hearing.
Don't make me and you start this.
That's all I'm hearing.
Don't make me and you start this. Don't make me and you start this. We'll argue over this again. We're gonna skip over this.
Neji, please. He's the best. He's the best.
No, we're not doing this. You jerk. What was I saying? Yes, 10-10 was done bad. Alright? Most of the Konoha 12 was done bad. The only two people that got any real, if you can even call it character development, was Naruto and Sasuke. Sakura didn't even get such good character development because in the beginning of Shippuden she was supposed to take on a good role and then she got sidetracked for the rest of the goddamn series until the final war. And when she said she finally caught up to them, she had finally caught up to them at that point. But the issue is, nobody believed her because we hadn't actually seen any feats. It was just her claiming random bullshit. And I get it. By the time it's well documented that by the time of the final war, Kishimoto was done with the series. He was already pissed. He was tired, right? So he didn't want to write anything. So he just kind of skipped over a lot of it. That's cool and all, but no, you can't do that, bro, because you just ruined the whole story. Boruto does a way better job of character building and storytelling. People don't like it because it's not the same shit. I feel like anything that came after Naruto wasn't gonna get the same love. You know, it's hard to follow up a great act like that. But still, it's some unmistakable bullshit for dudes to sit around and want to claim some shit like this, dog. Y'all have to stop it. Boruto's amazing. I rock with Boruto heavily. It's so heavenly.
Nigga.
Alright? A lot of the characters in Naruto got the shaft. Even Rock Lee. Do you know that Rock Lee never, despite being a fan favorite character, loving Rock Lee, you know that Rock Lee has never actually won a fight on his own?
I never knew that.
He's never won a fight on his own. Never won a fight on his own. even without other people's interference. The fight, when we first got introduced to him, he was about to beat up Sasuke and he was about to beat up Naruto and shit. Guy intervened, right? So he didn't get that opportunity during the Forest of Death. He was completely unarmed. He was completely outnumbered by the bunch of dudes. And even when he was about to beat the one guy, the dude with the air pockets thing in his hands, he intervened in that. So yeah, there it was. And during the Chunin exams, we all know what happened.
Oh god, which is one of my favorite fights ever.
That's one of anime's favorite fights ever. The entire anime community loves that fight. All right, and then after the Chunin exams with Kimimaru, he still had to be saved by Gaara. Rock Lee has been hoed his entire time in the series, despite being a fan favorite. Even when we made it to freaking Shippuden, we've never seen Rock Lee properly win a fight on his own, except against, get this, the mud clone that was made of him during the Gaara retrieval arc.
Nah, Kishimoto fucked up for that.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Exactly. It is some nonsense, bro. Some people say that it probably could have been an even great moment if Rock Lee would have been the one to go 8 gates instead of Guy.
I think so too.
If Rock Lee had decided, oh, Guy, you've been injured. There's only one thing I can do, and it unlocked the 8 gates, it would have been an amazing thing to see his character come full circle from being hated on and shitted on the whole time to being known as the guy who if Madara declared Lee the greatest, I believe it would have hit much harder than Guy, and Guy hits hard.
Boy.
So yeah. Even some of the better characters in the series get shafted. They get shafted. I'm not saying that Boruto doesn't have some of its lackluster moments. It does, but when you add them all up, dog, Naruto Shippuden did so many things horrible. Kishimoto's messed up for that, dog. Rock Lee has never properly won a fight. And then Sasuke, don't let me start on Sasuke. Big tantrum, bitch ass motherfucker. Anyway, right? Anyway, no. You know what? It's living in my head rent free. You and your friggin' Neji. No, me and you have a problem with that. You have to stop that. None of us liked 10-10 back then, okay? None of us liked 10-10 in the way she was riding Neji. None of us.
And even in Shippuden, what did she do? What she do?
None of them did nothing. What any of them do?
So what you want me like? What you want me like?
What any of them do?
What any
of them do?
Huh?
What any of them do? What any of them do? What any of them do in Shippuden? Tell me.
Shikamaru was a joke.
He was what?
Shikamaru was a Jonin, nigga. He was what? Was a Jonin. Became a Jonin, you bitch ass.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Neji became a Jonin. He dead. Tamari became
Tan Twig.
Tan
Twig. Come on, dead Tan Twig.
Exactly. You rascal. Exactly.
And you want me to not get on 10-10's ass?
Neji died from a twig. 10-10 used the 5 Sage of 6 Paths tools and weapons in the war, but Neji died to a twig.
In my opinion, honest, shut up.
No, because you're trying to bullshit your way out of this.
No.
The look on your face. You don't want me to be right. You just don't want me to be right.
In my opinion, that was so retarded. The Neji death was retarded. In my opinion, 10-10 deserves more hate than Sakura.
In my opinion, none of them deserve hate. 10-10, no, look, 10-10 was a master at those ninja tools, dog. Nobody could use those tools. She was the only one. The Gold and Silver Brothers each could only use 2 each. And they used to hunt tail beasts for fun. She could use all 5. Ooh. Stop it.
Boo! It's shit.
Stop it, man. That's the equivalent of us using Jesus' sword. If Jesus left behind a sword and nobody could wield it, but then me and you could wield it perfectly fine, and then a girl came by and she could wield it even better than us and unlock holy flame from the sky. No, you just hate on 10-10. All you're doing is remembering that time in the Chunin exam. That's all you're doing. It's mean. Stop it. Look, none of us liked 10-10 back then. None of us. But she was right though. Neji. Neji was a safe bet during the Chunin exams. He was a safe bet, right? He was the super rookie of the year for the last year. Okay? He was literally nominated and given a trophy for that shit. Right? This dude could see nearly 360 degrees, beat the life out of anybody. Let me explain something. The top 3 shinobi in the Chunin exams was Gaara, then Neji, then Rock Lee, and then Neji. And the only reason Rock Lee never got to stun on anybody is because he got Gaara as an opponent. That's the only reason. That's the only reason, right? Tenten was very much right to be betting on Neji. Now, Naruto pulled his bullshit out of his ass. Neji should have won that fight. Neji stopped all of his chakra points, beat the life out of him, right? Naruto called upon the Nine Tails chakra. Oh, Nine Tails chakra. Rotation still is gonna stop that. And then, after being beaten back, Naruto somehow digs a hole, a 10-foot hole, tunnel through the ground, no chakra, right? He's just using his hands, and we see and when he gets up, we see his chipped thumbnail. Oh, my thumbnail is bleeding. Oh, that explains how you tore through 10 feet of solid dirt inside, huh? Listen, man, that fight was absolute bullshit. Neji was the clear winner, and the only reason Naruto won was due to plot. People need to acknowledge that and move on. And I hate it when people bring this up. Oh, Tenten was all over. No, she wasn't just all over Neji's dog. She was right to assume that. The whole village was right to assume that's where Naruto should have stopped. He should have lost to Neji. Yeah, I feel good. Yeah, you're looking at me. I feel good after saying that.
Whatever you
I
say.
feel good after saying that. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
That's all. Stay in depth with anime. Stay thinking about music and production.
Stay trying to craft proper art and revolutionize the industry that you're in.
But above all else, stay on.